A welcome back edition.
A welcome back edition.
And a new home edition.
Yeah. I'm in a new home, and you and I have just made a contract of accountability.
Oh, yeah. A contract of accountability and friendship.
You really have to. We're such pieces of dirt that, like, we have to, like, be treated like those kids in juvie school.
Yeah.
To get anything done.
Yeah. Wow. That's what a reference. I've had to sign contracts in school when I was in like elementary school and middle school. I had to like sign contracts that would be like, I won't be late on the, and I will get this grade, and I will pass in this amount of homework, because I did so little in middle school. I did no homework like ever, and I was late by like at least 10 minutes every single day, and then I would like skip classes, and I did it so much that they were like, we're not even asking you anymore to do like none of it, but at least cut half of that off.
Wow.
So be late half of the time and do half of the homework and get half of the grade, and we'll call it even.
Wow, they really were trying to work with you.
They were really trying to, and I still didn't do it.
Oh, that's not good news.
I was the worst. I dropped out, and I was a 6th grade dropout.
What?
I was a 6th grade dropout.
You dropped out of middle school?
Mm-hmm. No, I didn't actually. I like mentally dropped out.
Yeah.
And what's funny is I stayed back in 6th grade. They kept me back. And why'd you do that? Do I have a booger?
No, I had an itch.
I've had a runny nose, so I thought you were like,
hey. Hey. Speaking into these microphones.
They can't see that, but just wipe. In 6th grade, they held me back because I didn't do anything. I didn't do any homework. I didn't do any work, and I was late all the time. And then I got straight Fs in 6th grade, and they kept me back. And then I cried every fucking day of my repeated 6th grade. So then the principal came to me and was like, hey, we noticed you might kill yourself if we keep you back. So we're going to do a contract with you. If for the next 2 months you can be on time every day and do all your homework and get straight A's, then we will pass you on to 7th grade, like halfway through the year.
Well, this is your official test.
Yeah.
Will you make it to 7th grade?
And then I was on time every single day, and I got straight A's. In one class, I got an A+.
Wow.
Showing that I'm fully capable.
What was the class? Big retard? I'm kidding. I don't mean that. Not if you have a disability.
What's funny also is that I was repeating 6th grade, so I was like, I did all this stuff before. So it's not like it's... I literally spent all last year doing all of this that I'm doing now.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm at a 7th grade level, so I shouldn't be doing this.
No.
So yeah, I got straight A's, and then they sent me up to 7th grade, but they sent me up to 7th grade halfway through 6th grade, halfway through the year.
So they're like new kid on the block that we've seen a lot.
Well, they were like new kid on the block, but also you have to take these tests that we've been studying for the last 4 months that you weren't here for.
Yeah. So did you immediately start failing?
Immediately. I got literally straight Fs within like the first month. I immediately failed. And all the teachers were like pissed that they were like, who's this fucking kid? Why'd he get to just cut a corner like that? And so all the teachers were mean to me. This math teacher, Miss Ahern, was the worst in the world.
Math teachers are usually mean bitches.
Scowlers. They just have scowls.
Yeah.
You walk in and they...
Wouldn't you love to go to your middle school math teachers and say, hey, how about you go get fucked before you talk to me like that? You know?
Did
you ever like want to see like a female teacher that was mean to you and they're like, I know you're not getting fucked, so maybe you should just like, if you can't go out and get it in the real world, buy a dildo like everybody else. God isn't pissed at you for doing that, and off yourself so you're not mean to all of us. That's what I wanted to tell a lot of like
buy a dildo and off yourself.
Well, I mean like off your vagina. Or rectum, whatever.
Blow your vagina's head off, bitch.
Yeah, yeah.
End your pussy's life.
And then tell me about this parallelogram shit. Because right now you're teaching me parallelograms as if you haven't been fucked in 5 years. And everyone and no one needs to carry the weight of your anger.
Right. Yeah.
Because math already sucks. So why are you making it suck more?
Yeah. Yeah, just because I don't know PEMDAS doesn't mean you should give me a traumatic memory that I have to think about forever.
Yeah, I'm sorry that you're in your mid-40s. But that's not my fault.
And that mole on your cheek has only gotten bigger. I didn't put it there.
I didn't put it there. And honestly, that's not the thing preventing you from getting fucked.
Right. Right.
It's what's under the mole.
It's your attitude.
It's your attitude.
There's nothing about your body
You know
or
what?
career.
You know what PEMDAS stand for? Is pussy. The attitude sucks. That's what PEMDAS stands for. Pussy. The attitude sucks. Yeah, I'll teach you PEMDAS right back.
Oh, we're back. We're so back.
We're so smudge.
It's gonna be
It's
a
stupid.
smudge girl summer.
Dude, I got suspended in 6th grade because I pushed a kid into the lockers and then I looked up and the camera was there. And so, like, my parents came in to defend me and they're like, Dylan would never push a kid into the lockers. And they're like, oh, yeah? And then they played the video and they're like, he must have done something. But I remember pushing him into lockers and then looking up, like, right. And I was like, oh. And then I just walked out of the school and onto the bus.
It's funny when you just have a feeling like that. Like you do something and then you immediately just go. And then there's a camera there. And it is like, how did I know to look there?
It must
like
be what like
random
serial killers feel when they get caught. You know, like the thing that gets them. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, it was the fingerprint on the door handle that got me. I had that same feeling that I got onto the bus. But this kid had been bullying me, so I had it's one of my favorite memories with my mom is I got suspended, and then she was like, nah, fuck this kid. And so we went to Old Chicago Pizzeria, and then we went to a movie on my day that I was suspended. But I was so freaked out that I was suspended, and I had a typing class, and I just went to the typing class, and I was like, and then these little shit kids, they were shit at the time, Brandon and Connor Simpson. Brandon was like,
both named Simpson? Brothers?
Yeah, they were twin brothers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Brandon and Connor Simpson?
Yeah, Brandon and Connor Simpson. And Brandon would be like, you know, you're not going to get into college now, right?
Oh, they were like nerd bullies.
Yeah. He was in student council. I hated student council.
Oh my God.
We were cool later on in life, but that I was like, you bitch.
Yeah.
You bitch.
Oh, because you had just gotten suspended.
I just got suspended, and you're like, you know that goes on your permanent record, right, Dylan? Colleges aren't going to accept you in. And none of them did, but that was because my GPS was terrible. GPA.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a bad...
my coordinates weren't... Yeah.
GPS.
Middle school was such a wild time, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was brutal. How'd you look in middle school?
Oh, terrible.
It's the worst. Every kid you meet that just looks crazy, you're like, oh, that's middle school.
That's middle school.
Just fucking confusion of appearance.
Yeah.
Just crying in the mirror, being like, why do I look like this?
I used to wear this shirt that said, it's only funny till someone gets hurt, ... Then it's hilarious. And I was so amped on the shirt. And I wore the shirt, and I went in first day, and the teacher was like, you, that's not funny. And she made me go change. I had to go wear a stupid big red shirt. It was like, I think it was one of the mom's t-shirt. It was like degrading.
I was going to say, did you get it from like the nurse? Like the lost and found?
It must have been some Ugandan woman in her 60s.
Yeah. I did that. I wore
or some huge shirt.
D-Generation X, like a WWE shirt.
Yeah.
That just said suck it. And it has Triple H and Shawn Michaels doing like the suck it pose. So obviously it was 3rd grade. You can't walk into a shirt that says suck it. Suck it.
But you don't even understand the context at that point.
Right. It was like, no, it's like a cool thing. I thought it was just a pose that my favorite wrestlers did. But I didn't know the context of like, it's insinuating sucking my cock. So my teacher freaked the fuck out about it. And then, she made me go down. She was like, go to the nurse. She has a lost and found bin. and I had to pick out a shirt, and every shirt was just like, what the fuck is
just
this?
Terrible. It's like
Just
it's the equivalent of like
Goodwill.
a scarlet letter.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember one time I was a big Good Charlotte fan, right? Mm-hmm. And there was a drummer on Good Charlotte who would do his he'd do like eyeliner going down his eyes, like kind of like a half a clown thing, not on the top, but he'd do it on the bottom. And I wanted to look like him, so I had this hair dye that was gel. So my parents wouldn't let me dye my hair, but I could put in colored gel, so it made it look like my hair was colored.
Yeah.
So I put in a bunch of colored gel, and then, I was scared to ask for eyeliner because I thought it would make me a pussy. So I just got a Sharpie. And instead of lining up, two straight lines down, I was like, I'll just eyeball it. And it was way too long and it was off kilter. So I had these like cross-eyed, huge lines going in opposite directions. Just sloppy as hell, and I had to wash it off.
Oh, that sucks. That was middle school?
That was middle school.
Did you have to go to the school? Did you go to school like that? Or?
I went to school like that.
Oh, man. How many people commented on it?
Just so many.
Was there a teacher?
And I don't think after that day, I don't think I was ever myself ever again. You know what? In protest, I should one day just start wearing it.
Yeah. Going back to your roots.
Bring it back.
This is who I was always meant to be.
Good Charlotte.
I never got to be me when I was younger.
Yeah.
Good Charlotte did fucking rule.
Yeah.
I can't. They have one song that I heard recently.
Lifestyles of the rich and the famous. They do that one, and they also have the anthem. I was like, oh, that's a different one. They got a few.
They have one that the music video is in like a hallway.
Yeah, I think that's the anthem, and it has all the trophies and the.
I don't know. I used to watch it on fucking Comcast on demand music.
Comcast
videos.
on demand,
Yeah.
dude. Oh,
Comcast
wow.
on demand was the shit.
Yeah,
The shit.
it was the shit.
I loved it so much. What an epic thing. That fucking old
You could watch softcore on Costco Comcast on demand.
Costco on demand.
Costco on demand. Could you
How
imagine?
crazy. Yeah. Could you imagine Costco on demand? I was going to say that made me think of two things. I had a field trip in 4th grade, and for some reason, I had hairy legs when I was in 4th grade.
Yeah.
And like
You had just gotten them.
Like I had just gotten very hairy legs. Not even that hairy. Not as hairy as I am now, but it was like noticeably hairy. And we were going on a field trip and I was nervous. I just figured everyone was going to make fun of my hairy legs because I knew we had to wear shorts. Like it was very much like
It was like a PE field trip, or are you doing something active?
no, it
or
was
something?
it was just a like we're going. It's going to be hot. So
Yeah, you gotta wear
the
shorts.
teachers were like wear shorts, dress warm. Wherever we're going is going to be hot, and we're going to be walking around a lot. So it was like a dress comfortable.
Yeah.
So I knew I was wearing shorts, and so I shaved my legs because I was scared that everyone was going to make fun of my hairy legs. But I was like, how old are you in 4th grade? Like fucking 9 or 10?
Something like that.
So I was just taking this blade, and I didn't know what like shaving cream was.
Oh.
So I just put soap on my leg. And then I was just fucking and just crying on the bathroom floor. And my mom was like banging on the door, like, what's happening? Thinking I was killing myself or something. And then she came in and I was like, I just had soap and blood all over my legs. And I was like, I tried to shave my legs. And she was like, what? Why? And I was like, everyone's going to make fun of me for having hairy legs. And she was like, how the fuck did you come up with that at all? That's insane.
And now you'd be made fun of for shaving your legs.
Yeah. And
I mean, not today.
And then
but
could you imagine? Girls shave their legs every day. Could you imagine if I shaved that leg every fucking day?
Eerie.
Eerie. Look at my arm.
Dude, I don't really get much hair.
Look at that, dude. I'm a baboon.
Yeah, look at you.
I'm Robin Williams.
You know what? I got a hairy chest now, and then I got like 2 perfect rings of like no hair at all around my nipple, but then a lot of hair.
That's
Like it's like my nipple has been like weeded, like a weed spray, but it grows all the way up to that, except like a ring around my nipples,
like a ring of just pale white skin, not the areola.
Yeah, it's like my nipples have a case on them.
Yeah,
one of those clear phone cases.
Yeah. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah,
that's funny because I have a ring of hair around my nipples. I have the opposite.
Wow.
So I have like
the hair goes up to the nipple.
All the hair is normal sized, and then the hair around my nipples, I have a ring of like really long hair.
Whoa.
Around my nipple. Yeah.
So it kind of looks like one of those sandworms where it's like encapsulating the nipple.
It looks like my nipples have like eyelashes. Also, I was going to say, this is the worst thing that ever happened to me that I think about sometimes, and I go, I can't believe that happened.
Yeah.
But it's not the worst thing that ever happened to me, but socially. I loved Jeff Dunham.
Yeah, who didn't?
I was a kid.
9/11 needed a puppet.
9/11 needed a puppet. And I begged my parents to buy me a puppet. It was this little puppet with it kind of just looked like me as a puppet. And I went to school with it for a month every day.
Wow.
And I would just sit there at like lunch and recess. Just full on being a fucking puppeteer.
And would you do this to your friends and stuff?
Oh, yeah. And I did it with pride. I did it with like full pride, and everybody was like... I went to the guidance counselor a lot. In that month I was doing that,
yeah,
the guidance counselors were very much like all the time being like, "What's going on at home? How's your relationship with your brothers? I know that you have a lot of families. So are you particularly scared of any one of them more than the others?" And I'd be like, "No,
Patrick isn't here right now."
No, my Uncle Randy gives me treats.
My Uncle Randy gives me treats and massages. No, Patrick isn't here right now.
No, I'm totally not scared of any of them.
He's lying. He's lying. He's terrified. Somebody help.
Because that genuinely is such a sign of like a kid being abused. It's just a kid walking around with a puppet and making dark jokes. Because I would make dark jokes with my puppet.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to be Jeff Dunham. But in reality, that's all it was.
Yeah.
Is I just wanted to be Jeff Dunham. I just thought that was so cool. But everybody was like,
I bet they had a meeting about you.
Oh, 100%.
They're like, hey, you notice that kid Patrick has a puppet that has an alternate...
It keeps saying,
personality.
Yeah. It keeps saying things that Patrick can't say. I think we can all agree.
Patrick shaved his leg and he feels really embarrassed about it. But that's cool. You would, talk about being yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to emulate someone else, but like doing your own thing.
Yeah, truly, just fully.
You were trying to emulate Jeff Dunham. I was trying to emulate the drummer from Good Charlotte.
Right. Whoa, the early 2000s.
Wow,
what a time to be alive.
You kids wouldn't get it.
Yeah, dude, I dyed my hair in middle school.
I was dyeing my hair all the time, dude.
But I had long, just waspy, shitty hair.
Yeah.
It's the same hair I have now. So imagine this just dyed bad.
Yeah.
Imagine this, but I dyed it and I don't know how to dye hair, so it didn't come out the right color.
Dude, I begged my mom to get frosted tips, and they were really looked at me different after that.
Yeah, that's a telling sign.
I was like, everyone's getting frosted tips, Mom. It was like me and 2K kids.
Yeah.
No, I was like, everyone's getting frosted tips.
Yeah.
And I was like, it looks natural. Yeah. It looks natural.
But you weren't getting the frosted tips in the puka shell necklace cool way. You were getting them in the emo band gay
I was
way.
getting a Fantastic Sam's which was like the equivalent of like Sports Cut, but for women.
Right.
And then I got a puka shell mattress, one of the chokers. But I was too fat, so it wouldn't fit. So I had to get an extender on my puka shell necklace.
You got the choker?
Yeah, I got the choker and everything. I went through many
Instead
styles.
of the necklace?
I used to wear wristbands with spikes on them.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a disaster. Just a collage.
And gym shorts.
A collage of confusion
Yeah.
you were wearing on yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, my God.
I used to try to get, my parents wouldn't let me pierce my ears, so I wanted to get clip-ons, but they were normally for women, so it would be like and I don't know what my thinking was, that if like, if I get my ears pierced, everyone will think I'm cool. And then back in the day, I don't know if they still do it, but there used to be a gay ear. You used to pierce.
I think it's the left one.
See, I always heard the right one was gay, and no one could come on to a consensus. I think it was just a way to call people gay.
Yeah, I think it was either ear. It's realistically any ear you have pierced is gay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That or like a pinky ring.
Oh, yeah.
Any jewelry on a man that's not just a necklace.
Or they always used to.
Gay.
Did your school have the thing where like someone would ask you to check your nails, and depending on how you checked your nails, is if you're gay or not?
Oh, no.
They always used to do this.
Oh, but
it
I
was
bet
a
that
test.
would get me.
It was the gay test. Oh, gay. Is that gay? You're gay.
That's how I would do it.
Yeah. Well, everyone would, because that's the way you look at your nails.
That's
but
the
they
way-
said the masculine ways is go like this, and I think this is more feminine.
That's actually more feminine, but that's what a gay guy would know.
But that's what a gay guy would know.
How do you know what's feminine?
Yeah.
Unless you're gay, you can always turn it.
It was like calling kids gay in middle school. It was like the J. Edgar Hoover era, like snuffing out commies. But like every day was a like, you're gay. I'm not gay. You're gay. If you thought I was gay, that's because you're thinking about cock, you gay wad.
How weird too that we all just were kids and we all had it.
You're gay.
Yeah. like a Reservoir Dog standoff of just cocks. We're just holding cocks at each other.
Oh yeah, well your shoelaces. And they'd be like, oh yeah, well your backpack. And I'm like, it's not gay. But then I started wearing a messenger bag, and people gave me shit for that.
Yeah.
But I loved having a messenger bag. I love the little strap.
What's a messenger bag?
It's a man purse, but a backpack. Okay. It's one of those ones with a strap, and then it's like you go like that and you pull out.
Oh yes, those are awesome.
I've
always thought people look so good when they have those.
I know. I thought it was so cool.
Like a skinny Bronx like college New York type kid.
Well, that's exactly what it
like
did.
Wearing a casual suit, but having that.
When I went to college,
like
I did everything.
He had that.
I did everything I couldn't. I felt like I couldn't do in high school. I went to college. I got myself a nice messenger bag that I still have to this day.
Nice.
And then I pierced my cartilage. And then 5 months later, I realized that wasn't who I was.
Right.
I got it out of my system.
Right.
But if you don't let people get the shit they want out of their system,
they become pedophiles.
Then they become pedophiles. You got to let them fuck a kid once to see if they even like it.
Yeah.
No, but I was just doing all the things that I felt like I couldn't do. And so it was cartilage. I went through a backwards hat phase. I went through a lot of phases growing up.
Yeah.
And I always felt like I had to hide shit, so I was always hiding shit. Like I got my first tattoo when I was 16 out of some dude's apartment.
Really?
It was I have a big Dave Matthews Band tattoo.
Oh.
And I got I was huge. It's the naked dancer lady. It's like the headless woman. I was 16. I was like, and then I got
so big.
And then I got another quote that I told you about, which I don't think I'll ever say what it is. But I have a quote under my arms that I tattooed also when I was 16. So most of my life
was a Bob Dylan quote, right?
Yeah.
So it's not too bad.
Yeah.
If you just leave it at that, it's not bad.
Yeah.
If you just say, I got a Bob Dylan quote.
Which one? And honestly, the first half of the quote is good.
First
and
half's
then the
good.
second half of the quote is just so cringe.
second half,
dude.
yeah, it's
Should
cringe.
I just tell him?
Yeah, you have, at this
God.
point you have to.
Okay, so
It's on the back of your arms.
it's under my arms.
Okay.
The first part of the quote, and it extends from this arm to this arm.
So you would have to do this. You would have to, so you would
Yeah.
so you would have to T-pose for someone to read it.
Yeah, I'd have to.
So then across.
This is who I am.
Spread your wings, Dylan. Spread your wings and fly. Wait a minute. What's it say?
The quote is on this side of the arm. It goes, "All I can do is be me."
Now that you say it, it's a little cringe.
It's a little cringe.
It's a little cringe, but it's not bad. All I can do is be me, because that is all you can do.
And that's all you can do in
And
life.
it's
It's try to
everybody-
get to your authentic self and be unapologetic about it.
All I can do is be me.
And the second half says, "Whoever that is."
Ruins the first. It ruins the first half.
Because I always read it like, all I can do is be me, whoever that is.
Yeah. I'm unsure of myself. Who even am I?
I know. It's like, I didn't really have that much to be brooding about at 16.
Right.
But I was like,
And also to get it as a teenager is like,
yeah, it was
yeah,
rough.
of course you don't. You're gonna know who you are one day.
Yeah, that's about like
Wait
growing
2 more
up.
years.
Yeah.
You'll know. All I can do is be me, whoever that is.
All right. It's like I was like, right. Who am I?
Right.
So yeah, you go through a lot of phases, but I don't regret having the tattoos because I was like, I just needed something at the time.
You want to hear a tattoo idea I had when I was 16?
Yeah.
My high school girlfriend had a tattoo gun, and she gave okay tattoos. And she literally, and this is a 16-year-old girl telling another 16-year-old boy, that's not a good idea. You're going to regret that. It's kind of artsy. I'm sure people would like this. And I have thought about even like putting this on t-shirts because I like it. It's so cringy though.
Okay.
It's 4 words. I'm nothing but happy. But there's a comma after nothing. I'm nothing but happy.
Yeah. I'm happy being nothing.
Yeah. I'm happy to be nothing.
Dude, that's essentially my Bob Dylan quote.
It's like the same level of it's the same message.
It's the same
It's
message.
the same message. I'm nothing but happy. But it's literally just adding a comma to the quote. I'm nothing but happy. I'm nothing but happy.
Yeah. That's fine.
I'm nothing.
The comma really pulls a lot of weight
It's so
in
much.
the cringe department.
And it's something I came up with. I mean, 16-year-old me was deep. That's
Yeah.
a deep. That's like good writing right there. I'm nothing but happy.
Yeah.
That's like the name of like an A24 film.
Yeah. You remember when people used to get those semicolon tattoos and they go, because it means that I'm keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a run-on sentence.
I tried to kill myself, but I didn't.
Music saved my life, luckily.
Luckily, music saved me. Wow.
It's so crazy that every kid wants to kill themselves, and then some of them do.
Yeah, but it's never the ones that are like, I'm going to kill myself.
Right.
Like the
It's
kid
the real.
who killed herself, one of the kids who killed himself, that was a year younger than me. It was like the beloved goofball.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. And then one day, burp.
I hit the button.
Yeah.
Dead.
He was super cool. That's my point. But he was never like, or at least my memory of him wasn't him going around moping.
Right.
It's the people that mope that just like live forever and are just like a constant energy suck on everyone else and
Just
and
fucking
live to
energy
500.
leeches. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you see them 20 years later, and they're still the same, and you're like, God, dude,
Yeah.
die. I know 3 people who have killed themselves. One of them we share.
Yeah.
But the two kids
Our
that
brother.
I knew,
We don't ever talk about it.
the third smudge. Two of them were kids I knew in high school who killed themselves. And it's funny. I don't know if I've told the story already, but one of them, his name was Darren, and he was my brother's girlfriend's cousin.
Okay.
And they were always like, he's a loser. Oh. But they were like, you're a loser. Which I was like, I'm not a loser. What?
You're going to kill yourself.
Well, they were like, he's a loser and you do nothing. So you two should hang out. And then someone could find the date on this. Whenever Black Ops 2 came out, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, the video game.
Right.
Day release, I bought it. My mom bought it. She was like, get your grades up and I'll buy you the game day of. And I was like, no fucking way. I got my grades up. She bought me the game on the day of the release. Whenever that was, I showed up. I go in my room and Darren is sitting in my room. And I walked in and I was like,
nothing's ever free.
yeah. It comes at a cost. I bought you the game, but you're going to have to share.
Yeah. With Darren.
So
what was Darren
I walk
like?
in. He was very just hair in his face. Hey, whatever. And his dad killed himself because his dad was an alcoholic who...
Wow.
His dad had just killed himself like a year prior to this. So his dad killed himself by drinking... he was an alcoholic and he was constantly drinking. And then they put him in rehab and he came home from rehab and they were like constantly hanging out with him. Like the family was on like suicide watch with him, like being like, don't drink. And then he was like, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. He went to the bathroom and he chugged one of those whole like full gallons of mouthwash. And it immediately, he just started shitting blood and bleeding out of the eyes. He exploded. He might as well have just exploded. And he died immediately that week in the hospital. Like immediately. It was like, your body's dead. Because he drank, because he was such an alcoholic that he was like, if I drink mouthwash, I'll get drunk. And so this kid, Darren, loved his dad. And so he was, a little 14-year-old emotional sad boy. And I walked in the room and he was there and I went, what the fuck? I was so mad he was there. And I was like, what are you doing in here? And he was like, they said you wanted to hang out with me. And I was like, no. I was like, fine, I fucking guess I'll hang out with you. What the hell? And then I was like, I just bought Call of Duty Black Ops 2. And he went, I don't play video games. And I was like, yeah, I bet you fucking don't. And then I was playing and he was like, the graphics kind of suck. And I was like, dude, fucking kill yourself. And then about a year later, he hung himself.
I don't know where I thought that story was going to lead, even though you said what was going to happen.
But they forced me to hang out with him, and I was...
Oh, man.
Everything he said, I was like, oh, you suck. You're such a drag. You're such a bummer. I never shared the controller with him. He just sat there while I played for like 4 hours. And then eventually, like, my brother's girlfriend came in and was like, okay, we're ready to leave. Did you guys have fun? And I was like, yeah. Great time. He was like, oh, well, it was good meeting you. And I went, yep. I was really dismissive of his existence. And then he killed himself.
Well.
Yeah, so that's the one.
What a heartwarming story about growth and perseverance.
But he wanted to be with his... I went to his funeral and... seeing like a... What?
No, that's just how you're saying it.
Seeing like a teenager in a casket, you are like, Jesus.
They did an open casket?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And you know what sucks is the worst part?
They put a scarf on him?
They put a high collar. The worst part of this is that the family's broke because, the dad killed himself. They were just trash. Tewksbury, Massachusetts family. So they didn't have the money.
Okay, well, you don't need to shit on all of them.
Well, they were just a poor family.
Okay.
Okay, I'll just
They
say
didn't
leave it at
have
that.
money.
They didn't have money. So they didn't have money for a funeral. So they had to raise money through GoFundMe or whatever.
Yeah.
So it took them like 3 weeks to raise the money. So by the time they were able to finally pay for the funeral and have an open casket, he was 3 months. He was 3 weeks gone. He was 3 weeks decayed. And me and my brother were looking at his body and we were like, we could see like his skull. You could like his skin was like, well, like it was like he had like a hollow body. His hands were like shriveled and black. His hands were gone. We looked down and we saw his shriveled black hands. We were like, oh.
Why would they do an open casket?
I don't know. And it was you could see every just vein and muscle and like you could see his teeth kind of through his lips and shit.
Oh my God.
It was, what's that called? Translucent? He had translucent skin. It was fucking and he was also like 16, so he didn't have any like interests. So like what he liked as a 16-year-old was like Mountain Dew and like and like rap music. So you know how like when someone dies you put like what they loved in their casket? So like in his casket he just had a Mountain Dew can next to his head and like a NWA CD.
No, he didn't.
It was a Mountain Dew can and an NWA
That's
CD.
kind of cool. That is kind of cool. That is kind of dope.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Ridiculous.
Damn, dude, that's rough.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're saying that kid was a bad hang.
Yeah. So my point is that sometimes the right ones do it. No, it's very dark, very, very sad. He was a good kid. He had a dark life. You know what the worst? The after party of that funeral was so hype that I was like, this is sad.
Wait, what do you mean? It was hype?
Like, it's such a trashy alcoholic family. So they like kind of looked at it as an excuse to all get so fucked up. That it was like, it seemed like 4th of July to them. Whereas it was like, we should all be crying.
Should be crying and have like lasagna.
Yeah. Yeah. But everyone was wearing like beanies and smoking cigarettes and getting fucked up and just like flirting with each other. And it was like, whoa, this is, I think because they were like, we raised like, I think realistically they were like, we raised like $17,000 and this only cost $3,000.
I feel like
So
they
we got
could have put
14,000.
more money into the like, let's get some makeup on them.
Right.
So this doesn't horrify everybody.
Yeah.
And you know what? We'll get, we'll get well drinks.
Right. Right. Mm-hmm.
We get well drinks. We'll still be able to get drunk, but it won't be fucking horrific when they see our open casket son that's been dead for 3 weeks.
Yeah. I remember leaving there with my brother.
Man, rough.
3 weeks. Too long.
Too long.
Me and my brother left and I was like, could you see his teeth through his face? And my brother was like, yeah. We just silently drove home like, Jesus Christ.
That's rough, dude.
Yeah, tragic. And then the other kid I knew who killed himself when I was in high school was a black gay kid in my hometown, which is 99% white and racist. He was black and gay, which is such a bad combo for the hometown I had. That's a brutal combo. And he came out to his parents and they like beat him. I think they were like, ain't no son of mine gonna be gay and black.
And he wasn't.
And he wasn't.
Eventually.
So he killed himself like immediately. They didn't accept him, and I think they like kicked him out, and he killed himself immediately. Like he went to his room and just hung himself. And then at the funeral, the mom threw herself on the ground, just going, "My baby!" Ah! And then some like her brother or somebody was like, "This is your fault." As I'm just there like, just one of his classmates just being like,
I mean, do you think those parents just like felt awful about it forever?
100%.
Do you think like
they didn't accept
do you think it made them more accepting?
I would hope.
God.
But you know what's funny is all three of his best friends who were girls were like, he was such a mopey little bitch. This is what he would do. Like legitimately all of them were like, they were like, yeah, we're not surprised he did this.
God, it just seems like everyone in his life was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why there's a lot of, the mopiness.
Right. Yeah. Maybe it's not natural.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something causing this.
Right.
Oh my God. I'm sure his three mean girlfriends were just like every day like, oh my God, if you're going to be mopey about it, just end it. And he was like, I'm going to come out to my parents tonight. And they were like, okay, whatever. And he was like, if they don't accept me, something bad's going to happen. And they were like, well, don't call me. I'm sure they were just the meanest friends in the world. I remember them legitimately all being like, he was such a little bitch and being like smiles at his funeral. And I was like, this is dark.
They were smiling at his funeral?
Well, they were like not that sad about it.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's so rough.
Very sad. I used to go to his grave a lot because I just felt like a weird compassion for it.
Wow.
Well, I just felt weird. He was the only kid I knew my age that was dead. So I would go and sit at his grave all the time and be like, this is weird. And I would talk to his grave.
Really?
Yeah, and just be like, I'm sorry, this happened to you. This sucks.
Hey, I wanted to say this. It kind of reminds me of what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. It's a thought I was having the other day. Was if you believe in reincarnation and you look at someone with like severe disabilities, like one time I saw a guy with Down syndrome and that was also paralyzed, and I thought to myself, what did you do?
That's Saddam Hussein.
Yes. Dude,
is that you, Saddam?
And I was talking to Ray about it, and he's like, "Yeah, that's sort of what they believe." Like, because wouldn't a very appropriate, I don't know, punishment, but like growth of like Mussolini be like a wheelchair bound Jewish guy? Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, and I hate to say this, but I actually think it is progressive, is I know a lot of people with disabilities who are complete fucking assholes.
Right. Yeah.
I know.
It is a weird thing to say out loud.
It is a weird thing to say out loud.
It's true.
It's true, but no one wants to talk about that.
No one wants to talk about it.
But also, because there's some people that really like lean into it. Mm-hmm. But I know a bunch of people with disabilities who are complete jerks.
Mm-hmm. And I know them as well. I know who you're talking about, and I've met more that are complete jerks. And it is like, because you have that thing of like, well, I guess you get to be. But then there's such like actual bad people that you're like, I mean, you're still a human at the end of the day. So I should get to be like, hey, piece of shit, fuck off. Don't talk to me like that.
Yeah.
I don't care that you have fucking palsy.
Where's the line?
Right.
Where we get to go, because I feel like people with disabilities, you get a little buffer.
Sure.
But also, like, societally, you get a little buffer. Mm-hmm. AKA handicap spots that no one else is using.
Right. Yeah.
That are always available.
Mm-hmm. Stalls. Bigger stalls.
Those are the only things I can think of that would be advantageous.
You get ramps.
First boarding on an airplane.
First boarding. That's big.
Yeah.
That's big. Government checks, disability checks.
Right. Mm-hmm. So at what point, have you kind of cashed in too hard?
Right. Right.
No one wants to talk about that.
Mm-hmm. You saw my dark story and went, let me top the fuck out of this. I told the story about 2 kids killing themselves, and you went, and retards suck.
No, that's not what it is. Because
this reminds me, retards are assholes.
Not at all, dude. Not at all. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you believe in reincarnation, then like what better way would, because like for instance, if reincarnation was real, I was a hot guy that took it for granted, and I was really, really mean to fat people and gay people. I was really mean to fat gay retards in a past life. And so this time around, I'm the fattest gay retard I know.
Yeah.
Is it? I feel like retard's back. Is it not?
It is. 100%.
Like, we all know that we don't mean it in that way, and you would never say something like that to someone who has a disability.
Yeah. Yeah, gay F word. It also retards so, like, bubbly. The word retard. Yeah. Retarded. It's so bubbly and, like, kind of nonchalant. Whereas, like, gay F word is so heavy. Or, like, the N word is heavy. Or
but
like,
I will say, it also depends on who's saying it.
Right.
And how they're saying it. I've
when I'm drunk, I feel like they're great.
Yeah.
I feel like I could slip an N word in that's... Or do you mean retard?
Well, yes.
How? Yeah. Yeah, retards, yeah. Well, because literally, when was the last time you saw someone be like, that retard's retarded? It isn't used
in a while.
Well, it's because it's obvious, and it's because it's kind of like old news.
I remember this one time, there's this kid, and I don't know if he had Down syndrome or something else. And I remember when I was in middle school, I believe it was middle school, I had made fun of him along with some other people that had made fun of him. I wasn't nice. I was a very mean guy.
What grade?
Probably middle school. And then in college, I randomly saw this video of him, and he was talking about how he got a job at a grocery store pushing carts. And I weeped for the first time.
Oh, right.
In like for like 40 minutes, I was just crying. Because I was like, why were you cruel to this kid who, like, he is finding so much joy in something that I take for granted.
Right.
And it's like, so it just made me really sad.
Yeah.
And when I say the word retarded, I never mean that guy.
Right. Right.
But I had been mean as a kid, and I wonder if kids are still mean. They've got to be,
I was
right?
about to ask, do you think bullying's gone?
No. It'll never be gone.
It'll never be gone, but hasn't it really... I think it's at least found its place in society. Because bullying will always be there, but it depends on what kind of bullying we can withstand. And I feel like... what's that called? Social media bullying? Internet bullying? Cyberbullying.
Cyberbullying. Ooh, homosexual. Ooh. Bad tits.
Bad tits. I feel like cyberbullying is completely dead. It's because I think the internet is such a cesspool that it's just what you know it is and you expect it. So I don't think there's like anybody being mean to you on the internet. You're not like, what?
I bet it's still there. I think girls will bully like that, and guys. I think, and this is going to be controversial, but I think guy bullying is much better usually. I'd rather get the shit beat out of me than like my brain be broken by a group of 10-year-old girls.
Right. Yeah. 100%. Girls are mean as fuck.
Cause I mean, guys are mean too.
Yeah. But on a base
usually
level,
it's like we're so dumb that it goes to like fists if it ever gets to a level. Like this is a level that where I'll tolerate being bullied, and then once it's past that, it's like violence either way.
Right.
Or it's you getting the shit beat out of you, or shoved, or whatever, or called a name. A lot of name calling.
Right.
But it feels like girls will be like, we'll go to that gay black kid's funeral and be like, we never really cared that much.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. Or are all kids cruel?
Yeah. Yeah. Kids are just cruel.
Yeah.
There's something within children that's like, oh, it's like natural to be judgmental and mean and dismissive of emotion. You know? It's a weird...
And I bet we still have all those same thoughts in adulthood, but when you're an adult, you go, dude, taper that down.
Right. I need to keep my job, and I know the consequences. Also, yeah, as a kid, no one's going to beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
But on a train,
unless it's your parents, if you're poor.
Right. Right.
You know.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's, yeah. I wonder if... So, yeah. I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't have brought up the whole...
retard.
The whole people with disabilities thing.
Right. How offensive. Oh, my boss, dude. My boss the other day. This homeless lady keeps coming into my work, and she's just the nightmare. Just comes in and she starts freaking out at people, and it's a nightmare. And I recently banned her. I told her she's banned. Like, I was like, if you come in here, I'm calling the cops. I have to. I'm sorry. You're threatening people at this point. It's too much. And then my boss came in yesterday and was like, hey, so have you had any more problems with that unhoused lady? And I was like, I wanted so bad to be like, ooh, good for you.
Yeah.
Big points on that one.
It's real nice to say unhoused when you don't have to deal with them.
Right. Yes. Yes.
And I don't think unhoused is a better word.
No. Yeah. Realistically, she's a schizophrenic fucking nut. She's a psychopath loony.
That you, as a minimum wage worker, have to deal with.
Yes, that I have to on a daily basis.
Yeah.
As she comes in and threatens the lives of these random college girls who are just trying to study and drink a matcha.
And overpriced.
Yeah, an overpriced matcha.
An $8 matcha.
And now I have to every day walk up to her and pretend to call the cops and be like, please leave, dude. What the hell? As she's just screaming at me going, oh, did I do something wrong? Did I do something wrong? And so I'm like, fuck, dude, just go.
It's so easy to, like, not be in that situation and be like, you should have been nicer to that unhoused person.
Right, yes. Because as I was telling my boss, I was like, hey, this homeless lady keeps coming in here and it's fucking... So then she kind of was like, have you had problems with the unhoused lady? Like, it's like, what?
No, I haven't, but the batshit homeless lady that's throwing shit at everybody is kind of getting on my nerves.
The lady I put my life in harm's way to get out of your business, yes, I've had no problems with her. I've put my fucking life on the line. Who knows? She could have fucking stabbed me in the throat with a razor blade.
And then it'd be, oh, well, did you hear that unhoused lady had a conflict with Patrick and now he's dead?
As I'm just on the ground of a fucking coffee shop, just...
Yeah.
Why'd I kick her out? Why?
Let's get you into a program.
It's funny because there was so many times where that homeless bitch would come in and she would freak out and I would just stare at her and be like, I'm not doing anything about this.
It seems like you were pretty patient for her for a long time.
I was patient for like 4 months. And then recently she went and like fell asleep in our bathroom. And that's when I was like, what the fuck? And I banged on the bathroom. And I was like, yo, you gotta go. And she was like, what? What's that? What? Just a schizophrenic homeless lady waking up in a bathroom and me banging the door. So I just heard her in the bathroom going, what? Whoa! Just freaking out, being like, whoa! And then she came out and was like, what's happening? What's happening? And then she was walking out. And as she was walking out, she was like, what are you looking at, bitch? you fucking lock me in there? And I was like, all right, hey, I'm calling the cops on you every time I see you. Get the fuck out of here. Now this is crazy.
I feel conflicted because sometimes I'll see a homeless person, and sometimes I think about homeless people. I think, ooh, maybe this is like a test from God of like whether I'll be generous or not. Mm-hmm. But then one time someone put a dirty rag on my windshield and just like basically smeared a bunch of, and then I was like, if this is a test of patience, I am failing today because I can't, dude.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to, and also like I'm not rich.
Yeah, it's not our fault they're like that, and it's not our place to help them.
Also a big thing, I don't carry around cash.
Mm-hmm. No one does.
Yeah.
Especially change.
I have some change, but I feel really bad about this. This is something I feel really bad about, but I'm like, dude, I can't touch your hand.
Oh,
I'm weird with the hand stuff.
That's so funny. Yesterday I went to Creek, and on my way to Creek, I knuckle bumped a homeless guy. And because he was being nice and funny, and then he was like, give it to me, man. And I was like, yeah. And I knuckle bumped him. And then I walked to Creek with my hand up like this. I walked like 10 blocks just with my hand like this. And then as soon as I got there, I went, do you have hand sanitizer? I fucking touched one of them. I fully just disgust. Because also it's not, I don't think that's mean at all. They might have poop on their fucking hands.
I don't think that.
Blood. They're drug addict, mentally ill people. It's not mean to say that. They literally are drug addict, mentally ill people. Sorry. Calls it as he sees it. I guess I'm an honest guy. I don't look at them as unhoused, unfortunate.
I wonder what that conversation is if heaven's real and you go up there and you go like, God, look, you're right. I could have been nicer and kinder and stuff, but like with the hand stuff.
Yeah. It would be funny if God was like, oh, you didn't touch any of those poopy, junky, mentally ill freaks, did you?
God hates homeless people.
I reckon he does. No. They're in that position for a reason. God definitely wasn't awesome to them.
It sucks that there's a lot of good homeless people out there, I'm sure, that like have just been fucked over by the system, or they're just like mentally not able to do stuff.
Family.
But then we've had this conversation before. It's like, if you're homeless, because you were homeless for a while.
Yeah.
And
I was homeless for like a year.
And if I was ever homeless, we would always have, our friends would have couches that we could stay on.
Right.
I don't think we would ever get to a place, unless everything was terrible, that we were like legitimately homeless.
Right.
Unless we had gotten addicted to crack and exhausted and burned all of our bridges.
Right.
At what point is it there's your responsibility, and at what point is it just like, oh, you're kind of a piece of shit?
Right. Because literally, yeah, you have no one. You don't have a cousin that can help you out. There's no trying to get back on their feet for them, which is weird.
Well, I hear, and this might be just privileged, but I hear like, we have a friend that used to work with homeless people, and he was saying some of them don't want to be reintroduced back into life. It sucks. Homelessness sucks for the people that like don't get help, that are generally like, hey man, like I had a bad luck of the draw and I'm trying my hardest.
Right.
When you see a homeless person, you want them to be Will Smith in Pursuit of Happiness.
Right. Yes. 100%. 100%. That's a
But
good
all you
example.
get is
They're coming for me. They're coming for me. It's just a guy on the ground with nothing around him.
One time
They surrounded me.
One time I didn't give a homeless guy money. He says, "I hope you die, fatty." It was pretty funny.
That is amazing.
But
were you like, oh?
Yeah, I know. It freaked me out. So it's like, it sucks because then those homeless people, you're like, damn, like now around every homeless person, I gotta like not look at you. I have to like physically. They taught us this in one of my classes in college. It's called an urban scowl, and when you walk around, you put a scowl on your face, and it shows that don't fuck with me kind of thing. Because the odds go up that someone will give you money if they make eye contact with you.
Right.
So then you got to go walking around the city, like literally going. And then you feel like a jerk because then the homeless guy's like, oh, I'm just trying to talk.
Right.
And because then there's the people that genuinely try to talk. But then on the other side, there's people that use the devices to be like, oh, man, I was just trying to talk. And I was like, I know where this conversation is leading.
Right. Yeah. I don't want anything. And you're like, what do you want? I just want, can you just buy me a meal? And you're like, that's wanting something.
Yeah. But it's like a minute into the conversation and it makes them even more pissed if they've had that long of a conversation.
Right.
It's like, I had the same thing happen to me about someone who was trying to like get me to donate to Greenpeace. It was like one of these, environment organizations. I went to go get a burrito and he's like, I was like, hey, man, I don't have money. He's like, oh, no, it's cool. It's whatever. I'll give you this pen, and I just want to talk to you. I see you're reading a book. What book are you reading? He's asking me about the book. I'm like, really, man, I can't. He's like, no, man, I'm not. I'm just, like, interested in talking, man. And then I was like, hey, like, I'll give you an email, but I literally can't give any money to this donation. He's like, oh, man, don't worry about it. And then he asked, like, 5 or 10 minutes after that, for the money, and I was like, no. And it was like a subscription, but he's like, sign up for a year. It's only $150. And I was like, bro, I don't want to, and I don't want to waste your time, but like, seriously, no. And I was like, but here's the pen back. And then he just snatched the pen out of my hand, and then all the niceties went away.
No shit.
And he was like, and I was like,
oh, that story boils my fucking blood.
It made me so angry. And then he got to walk away like, you piece of shit. You wasted my time. I was like, no, you wasted your time.
Right.
I told you from the beginning, I was like, no. I'm not your guy. Yeah. I'm not your guy.
Yeah. You should have just screamed rape.
It makes you feel like you're losing your humanity, though, when you like don't give to homeless people at all. But then you're like, bro, like, what can I do?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I walked to Grant Adcock called me the other day and was like, hey, I'm at the Dizzy Rooster if you want to come hang out with me. And I was like, oh, cool. I'm leaving work right now. So I left work and I walked over, and that's 6 blocks I walked. And every homeless person that asked me for something, I went, man, if I gave to every homeless person that on this walk that asked for something, I'd be stripped naked by the end of the walk. Right. I'd have nothing because so many of them are out there.
So it feels like you can't give to any at all.
Right. But I will say I've had this funny thought recently. Do you know the tall black homeless guy who wears a black hat? He's been here ever since I've lived here. He's the one homeless guy that I've like known. I've like talked to him and I see him all the time.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
He's a regular. he's a regular on 6. But I've seen him so many times for like 5 fucking years now. And I do give him, anytime I have change, I give it to him. And I was thinking the other day, because I was on that walk to Dizzy Rooster, I gave him some, and then like seagulls, like 3 more homeless people were like, what else you got? And I was like, oh, dude, I just gave, that was all that I had. I had fucking 68 cents in my, but I was thinking about that guy, because I do give him change, because I get change in my tip jar at work. Yeah. And I'm always just like, I'm not going to use this change. So I just give it to that one homeless guy. And I was thinking, to me, unfortunately, that's as close to a broker as I'll ever have. It's like a false hope. It's like a hope. It's like just such a shot in the dark. But if I ever, one day, 2 years from now, that guy's like, Patrick, we did it. The stock hit. We're millionaires. Yeah. I was like, what? And you've been investing in me for years. Once a week, you gave me 87 cents, and I've been investing it every day. I'm like, I was just having this, yeah. Dude, just funny fantasy.
I have this horrifying fantasy that I don't give to a homeless person, and it's a game show. They did this one video. It was super fucked up. Where they have this mom walk by this homeless person and she ignores him, and it's the son, but he's got like makeup and the hat on to look like he's homeless. Right. And then she starts crying. But it's like, bro, she's like a single woman in her 60s.
Yeah. She's got shit to do.
It's like, yeah, it would be sad if it was your son, but it's not your son.
Yeah, it's not your son.
And also, like, that's kind of cruel to be like, hey, mom, you wouldn't do the right thing.
Right. It's fucked up on his part. That's an asshole son move.
I know.
Because also it's like, well, let's think about this. Let's think about the logistics of this. What did that homeless guy do to get in his position? That she did to be in her position. That she did, yeah. Right. What didn't he do? I'm sure they both had the same, like, if you compare me to a homeless guy on 6th Street, I bet we had the same upbringing, the same lack of opportunity, the same lack of help and wealth, and yet I'm not in your position. So what did you do to get in your position that makes that my fault? How's that not make it, you know? Like, where's the accountability for the homeless is my question.
It's a tricky line.
Did they not get accountability?
Yeah.
Were they drug dealers? Did they?
I'll show you another one, and this is, actually I can't. It's just going to sound terrible. So keep on talking.
It is funny. This went from this very funny start, and then I immediately was like, all right, 2 kids I knew killed themselves, and then you were like, the retards are assholes, and now we're like homeless people.
Say that. I said,
and now we're on homeless people.
I said people with disabilities may have been bad people in a past life. I would go up to a person with disabilities and I go, hey, clean slate.
I think in my past life, I beat homeless people to death. I bet I beat up 3 homeless people to death in a past life.
And that's why you're homeless for a while.
And that's why I'm just broke constantly for 5 years chasing a dream that isn't working that well. I think I was never good at school. I'm smart. I have a hard time thinking. I have a hard time articulating words.
Yeah,
I think I like beat up. I beat up one.
You were like some Oxford sociopath.
Yeah,
which is just like $1 trillion behind you.
Yeah, I was like a Ted Bundy type, but I would just beat up homeless people and disabled people every once in a while. And now I'm paying for it in this life.
Yeah, damn, dude, that's crazy to think about. I think if the reincarnation is real too, like the next time around, I'm fucked. I've said a lot of mean things and done a lot of bad things.
I don't think saying anything matters.
You don't think so?
I don't think words hold that much power in terms of... And unless it's that bad. We're funny and ironic. I think funny and ironic gets a big pass.
I hope so. I hope irony gets a play in the weighing of scales of justice.
I beg of you, Lord, please let irony reign. Because if there's just a transcript of just context erased of everything you've ever said, just an angel being like, Jesus Christ,
yeah,
what the fuck?
It should also have it should be annotated to what I meant.
Right. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Context and intent.
Yeah.
Annotations. Mm-hmm. When Dylan said this thing about disabled people, what he really meant was...
Well, actually, you know what's funny is the amount of death I've wished upon people is actually probably the greatest sin. Like verbal sin you could commit is just being like, I hope that motherfucker dies.
But then you think but isn't that your first thought? Like, I have so many thoughts and fantasies where I'm walking into play and I punch through a guy's throat, rip it off and throw him into a bridge directly into a shark. And is that a sin? Is the thought a sin?
Yeah, just a funny.
Because then you also go, well, what if God isn't real? Mm-hmm. What if he is? Mm-hmm. If God isn't real, it's like, I still feel like you got to be good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because then there's also a part of this, isn't there a little piousness in being like, I have to be good I'm good all the time, and I've never done anything bad. That's kind of like what the, elitist viewpoint was I'm a good person. I posted a black square. Right. And it's well, you still make 6 figures a year and
don't donate to charity or help homeless or teach children.
You only advocate for homelessness from the safety of your home.
Yeah.
Yeah. From the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, it's funny. My boss owns a company. She owns a business that Hyatt Corporation.
You love working there, by the way.
I do love working there. I love my boss. but she was bought out by Hyatt Corporation recently, but she still holds her position in the business. So she's making money. I make about $700 every 2 weeks. And she's making bank, and she has a house.
And then just be like the unhoused person.
She's unhoused. It's
and we don't even know if they're a she.
Yeah,
and they're like, oh well, that's nice.
That's also what she did, because this fucking clear female homeless lady has a buzz cut because she's black. Also, women are commonly bald, so
short hair.
So yeah. So my boss was like calling them, and I was like, clearly,
don't
a lady.
You just want to say, hey, that's the least of what's going on?
Right? Yeah, that has nothing to do with the situation.
That's the same thing. Now. Yo, I told a Mormon therapist that I wanted to kill myself, and then the first thing he said was, hey, just so you know, I think it's okay that you're gay. And I was like, buddy.
You made it worse.
Yeah.
You made it so much worse.
And he harped up on it for like 20, 25 minutes. Oh. And then I had to go to a loony bin for 2 weeks.
Yeah, he made it so much worse.
And it'd be like, yo, I mean, I'm not balancing off of buildings, getting drunk out of my mind, trying to kill myself because I care what you think about me being gay.
Right.
You're Mormon. Everything's gay to you.
That's like if
everything's a sin.
Right.
So like, I think the more important part of what I said to you was not because I said, he's like, oh, you dating anyone? I was like, yeah. My boyfriend and I broke up not too long ago. Mm-hmm. And that was later in the conversation. And he went, hey, I would think if I was a therapist and someone said, hey, I'm like legitimately have a plan to kill myself, mm-hmm. I would think I'd be like, okay, let's start there and put most of the focus on the suicide attempt.
Right.
But instead it was like...
Or ask, where do you think it stems from?
Yeah.
What do you think? Make a
instead
list.
Instead he was like, man, I knew a lot of gay people growing up. And I was fun. That's fine with me.
And I was totally cool with them. Yeah, I'm
not sure God is, but you know,
he's trying to win social points with a kid who's gonna kill himself.
I know. He's trying to be like social justice. When I'm like, bro, like the more important part of this conversation is not that I'm gay.
Yeah.
The more important conversation is like, get this kid off the ledge.
That's like if someone like called me fat and I was like, that guy just called me fat, and somebody was like, oh, that guy called you a fat retard? And you're like, wait, what? Yeah. No, he just said he called me fat.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said fat retard. You're like,
no.
I
thought you said satty faggy.
Yeah. I thought you said ugly unlovable.
I thought you said faggy McSad sad. I was like, no, I'm just sad, and then I'm also gay.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, but you're a little homo, aren't you?
Which also the saying "I accept you for being gay" is like a.
It means that you do care. He was like, just so you know,
you do care.
I don't care. But he took us out of the conversation, the more important conversation, to be like, just so you know, man, I'm cool with gay people, which is also pretty selfish.
It would have felt selfish.
That's for you.
And it would have been so much better for you if you said, yeah, me and my boyfriend broke up recently, and he went, oh, okay, I'm so sorry to hear that. And you were like, oh, wow, you didn't care that I said boyfriend. That's more meaningful than it's like, that shows you don't care, is not caring.
He should have had a record scratch. I'm like suicidal. I'd like have a plan. I've like written out a will. And then, my boyfriend and I are just, you know?
Yeah. What?
So stopping in on this unhoused person's gender, it's like we're not even fucking discussing this.
That is the least of the worries right now.
You think that homeless lady's problems stem from being misgendered?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. For the sake of conversation, you're just putting different labels on it so that you don't feel as bad about it. Yeah. We all feel bad about this situation.
Yeah.
But I'm the one who's got to deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're a homeless schizophrenic, I don't think sexuality is on your mind at all.
Yeah, I don't think that homeless lady went out and was like, they thought I was a she? Throwing shit at the wall, butting in her pussy or whatever.
I did
I'm sorry. That's not a nice thing.
Yeah, you added a crazy level to it. I recently actually had a situation like that. I got my Heather's car got towed from my apartment.
Yeah.
It took me 2 hours, but I finally found it. And then once I called the tow lot, they were like, it's going to be like $360 to get it out. And I was like, dude, and I freaked out. And the guy on the phone was like, well, you want frat kids fucking parking in your spot all the time or not? And I was like, I don't fucking whatever. Because I live next to a frat and they park in the spots. That's why the tow company comes. And then I got towed from my spot because I didn't have the placard up. So I was just fighting with them, and they were like, well, this is fucking protocol. You got to have the placard. And if we don't do the placard situation, then frat kids are parking in your spot all the time. And then I was like, dude, fuck you. Just fuck you. And I started freaking out. And then at the end of it, because I was like, hey, let's just resolve this. Because we fought for like 10 minutes of me freaking out at them. And then
By the way, tow company people are some of the biggest scumbags on earth.
Anybody involved in car work, like from the fucking dealership to the DMV to the tow lot, everyone involved with cars is a fucking demon.
Yeah.
Just a demon.
Yeah.
And so then at the end of the conversation,
that's someone we can discriminate against openly.
Yes.
Anyone in that process.
DMV employees, you would swear they're shackled in a fucking cell underground for every hour they're not at the DMV.
They were probably like, Gandhi and like Mother Teresa and like saints.
Yeah.
And there has to be a balance of good and evil in the world.
Right.
And so all of the best people of humanity died and then became DMV shitbag cum suckers.
Cum suckers. Yeah. But
so you're at the tow.
So I finally, at the end of the conversation, I was like, hey, I need the car, so let's just wrap this up. And then the guy was like, oh, no, now you want to start fucking talking nice to me? And I was like, dude, fuck off. That's over. I'm exhausted. I thought my car got stolen. Sorry, I'm emotional on a Sunday morning. And then he kept being like, you want to act nice now? And I went, dude, you're a fucking, because he was quoting like shit I said to him. And I was like, dude, you're a fucking man. Get over it. And
you said that to him?
Yeah. And he went, what did you say? And I went, you're a man. Get over it. I said words to you. Are you not a fucking man? Deal with it. And he goes, I'm not a fucking man. And I was like, what? And she goes, I'm not a man. And I went, oh, well, I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry, miss.
I immediately was like, ooh, fuck.
I take that all back.
I went to the tow lot, and it was just this fucking, 50-year-old woman. Clear as day woman, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry.
You saw her? Did you guys have a conversation face to face?
Yeah, I was like, are you the lady I was speaking to on the phone? And she went, yeah. And I went, I'm so sorry. And she went, I'm also sorry. And I was like, okay, cool. I was like, I thought my car got stolen. I was emotional. I had a lot of stuff to do. I called out of work because I thought I got the car stolen, and I thought my girlfriend's going to be pissed at me and break up with me. And she was like, I totally get it. I deal with people all day, and I don't blame you for what you said. And I was like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really nice. It was nice. But
I think that emotional intelligence could only come from a woman.
Right, yeah.
If it was a guy, it'd be like, round two, pussy.
I was scared. Yeah. If it wasn't a girl, I would be scared getting there and the guy fucking with me.
Yeah.
Round two. It was also nighttime.
Yeah.
And it was just me out, and I had to drive out 45 minutes to the fucking boons.
Yeah.
So I was just in the middle of nowhere off a highway, and I had to drive down this long dirt path to get to this lot. So if it was a dude, he would have just been like, I'm going to kill you.
I'm just going to kill you.
I'm just going to kill you, and no one will ever hear from it again. I'll bury your body on this private lot full of cars. Nobody will ever find you. But yeah. Wow. So I misgendered the fuck out of a lady recently, and it was I actually felt bad about it. I actually was like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, it feels bad when you legitimately... I feel bad when I misgender some or embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
right?
I don't go around the world trying to misgender people, but mistakes happen.
Mistakes happen. I mean, also this lady was probably a smoker. She also works at a car lot. She's pretty.
Yeah, she's like tomboy.
Yeah, tomboy lady. So she was literally on the phone talking like this. So I just was like, yeah, he's a big butch man. It's not.
Well, Patrick, it feels glorious being back to Smudge.
Yeah.
And
this was a good and controversial ep.
I think
back to controversy.
Whoa, dude.
We're back and more controversial
I mean,
than
this
ever.
is one of those episodes where we're going to watch like 5 years and be like,
oh, yeah.
Fuck.
New studio, new controversies.